How you doing, folks? We're back once again. This time to play VPS. We've played VPS a couple of times this season. I think we have anyway. I mean, we must have done. This is our last game of the season. So, yeah, how are you doing, Redmond? You good? Excellent. I'm doing fine. Until we talk about how the last couple of games gone, but that's another discussion. We went to a game last night. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, though, we need to do our taste test. Redmond, sorry for that rushing into the microphone. Redmond went to, has the last Easter egg going. But what we are going to do is, Redmond's face isn't on the screen. Let me see if I can put this in a place where you can read it. Peony, I think, is little. Citruna is citron or lemon. Aivos or laivos, I'm guessing is slices, so it's not really tasting anything unusual. It's pirka. I don't know. Either way, it's a lemon slice. Have a lemon slice. Or a mini lemon thing. They're itchy witchy little things. Can you see that? Basically as big as his head. Stop grinding your teeth and eat your lemon slice. We'll be having these on and off. Hopefully not too many, as I'm trying to maintain my svelte look. You like it? Mm-hmm. Good. I like it too. But then I'm a French. We like the sweeter things in life. I think what we'll do, I've recorded the other bit, so I'm going to get Redmond to talk a little bit about the game we went to yesterday. Who did we see playing yesterday?
Rops.
Rovaniemi's team. We were up there in Rovaniemi and we had a look at the stadium. Do you remember?
Yep, and we won 3-0.
We won 3-0. Tell everybody about the game.
So, it was a game where some of my team's friends from VEIKKAUSLIIGA, we didn't play yet in Football Manager, and my friends were watching the game, and we got 3-0, and they were a pretty lot of fans.
There you have it, folks. That's the box score for the game. VEIKKAUSLIIGA got free tickets or cheap tickets, so we got to go for free, and his mammy came as well, and we had a great old time. We hung out with some of his VEIKKAUSLIIGA friends. Was it a good game? Yeah, it was a real rout. I think I talk about it a little bit later, but yeah, it feels like Inter have kicked on. Unfortunately, that's the last Inter Turku game we'll see this year in the stadium.
And did you know really early off about the second goal? So the first goal we scored, it was really early.
It was. Definitely.
Really early.
You're not going to eat anymore? No. You're going to eat your chocolate instead? Let's hand over to me earlier. Now, that's later. Alright, we're back again. Except now it's earlier than it is when you're seeing me, but it's the same time. So, blah, blah, blah. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly football. Right, so, what I do want to talk about is a couple of little bits and pieces. I want to talk about Vasa, who we're playing, and I don't think I've talked about them at the city at all, never mind the club. There's not an awful lot to the club in so many ways. They don't have a magnificent history. Basically, they've won the league twice in the 1940s. They were founded in 1924, actually. Let's start with that. They were founded almost 100 years ago, 95 years ago in 1924, and since then, they've won the league twice in 45 and 48. And let's face it, that probably wasn't the strongest that the Finnish league has ever been. They were runners-up in the cup in 1972. And they won the League Cup. They had a good run in the League Cup. They won it in 99 and 2000. They were runners-up in 1997 and runners-up in 2014. Of course, the League Cup got disbanded, I think, 2 years ago. They were runners-up in the league twice recently. They were runners-up in 40-41. They were runners-up in 32. Again, not probably the strongest it ever was. But they were runners-up in 97 and 98. So they were double runners-up in 1997 before they got their 2 League Cup. They were double runners-up with the League Cup in '97. Consequently, they've not had an awful lot of European action. They've had, I think, 5 seasons in Europe, and bizarrely, you should be able to see it there now. They've played something like, of the 7 opponents they've played 4 of them were all Scandinavian. 5 if you want to include Scotland. You know, they managed to lose. They managed to lose the first leg, presumably away from home, to a Faroese team in their first ever competition. That must have looked like this is the pits. And so far, apart from them, they got 1 win against a Swedish team. Excuse me, and 2 wins against the Slovenian team, Olimpia Ljubljana, their year before last. So they're doing okay. They've not had magnificent success. They were like mostly top tier, a couple of loops into the second tier for a while, up until 1977. 1977 they finished bottom of the Premier League, which was at that point the Mestarayusaraya. Don't use that as the official pronunciation. They got relegated to the second tier, which was then called the Uksi Divisiona, and then immediately got relegated down again to the I can't remember, the Coxie Divisiona, and then again after they had 2 seasons in the third tier, and they got relegated again to the fourth. The third division, the Colme Divisione, I'm going to guess. They topped their division, they topped their section, they got promotion through the playoffs, they came back up, but they continued to hang around the third tier for all of the 80s basically. 1991 they got promoted, 1994 they got promoted again, and they've been down for 3 seasons since. Contiguous, they got relegated in 2002, but they've been fairly solidly top tier since. A couple of there's one 11th, there's a couple of 10ths and a couple of 9ths, but they tend to be, you know, upper midish table. It's hard to say. Their coach is a guy called Petri Vuorinen, maybe. And I mean, where do we expect them to land? In the real world, they feel like a 5th, 6th, 7th team, if you know what I mean. So I haven't seen them play. I know we beat them in real life. Turku beat them in Vasa in our game earlier this season. I think it was 2-0 with a couple of goals from Valencic. But I mean, that's a rough idea of who Vasa are, or who VPS is. That's obviously Vasan Palusura. Now, as for Vasa itself, this is an interesting city. It's just over 413 years old, because that's when it got its charter. It has a population these days of about 67,000. It's constructed of the main city of Vasa and Vahakiro, but it's actually surrounded by other municipalities, so Vahakiro is considered an exclave. These days it's industrial and it's all kind of electronic-y stuff as well as the usual stuff, but its history is kind of interesting. It dates back donkey's years, and it's had dozens of several names. Most of the cities here in Finland have 2 names, a Finnish name and a Swedish name. And so Vasa's Swedish name is Vasa. Just take out the extra A in the middle. Originally it was called either Mustasari or Musor, which was the village where it was built. Then it was changed to Vasa to honour the royal Swedish lineage, or in let me see, it's also called Korsholm. Mustasari is still Korsholm is obviously Swedish, Mustasari is Finnish. Between the middle, there was a massive fire in 1855 which burnt everything but 24 buildings down, and it was rebuilt, and at that point it was run by the Russians, so it was either called Nikolaistad, which was the Swedish for presumably Nikolagrad, or Nikolaien Kaupunki in the Finnish. For the most part, up until 1930, it was basically Swedish. More Swedish speakers than non-Swedish speakers. So it was only in the 1930s that they started calling it Vasa more than Vasa. So that's a little bit of the name history. It was important during the war between Sweden and Russia, which was, I've subsequently discovered, the reason that Finland got handed over to Russia. There was something called the Finnish War. Finland got overrun, and this was one of the cities that was quickest to be taken by the Russians. Many in the city became collaborators, and so they were punished for that when the Russians went. But the Russians were back literally a couple of months later, so it's like, that's awkward. So it became significant again after the Russians were done, because the government during the Civil War moved up there because it felt a little bit more safe. Apparently people were getting awful grief in the even in Helsinki during the Civil War. Lots of universities in it, tons of universities, and I think 3 major ones, one of which is actually part of the Abo Academy, which is for the one here in Turku, the Swedish one. That's where you train your Swedish teachers. So that's a little bit about Vasa. I haven't been. I doubt I'll get there now. We have, at the time of recording, we have a week and a half left in Finland, which is why, unfortunately, this YouTube series is probably going to come to an end. I don't know if I should keep doing another series after this one. I'll definitely do one more, if not 2 more episodes. One to have our last game of the season, and then one to sort of survey our experience here in Finland and managing in Finland. Speaking managing in Finland, I wasn't managing this, but my kid has been playing football, and I've been going to football with him. We went to see Inter play Rops last night, and that was fun. It was like 2-0 after 5 or 6 minutes. My wife came along. She doesn't go to many games, and she was like, is it like this all the time? I was like, no. Although the last game was kind of like this as well. Rops were dreadful. I mean, shocking. It really does feel like Inter kicked on from that win over HJK and have found their feet. The first 2 goals were so soft. The first one I completely missed because I looked away because it looked obviously going wide. And then the second one I was actually rooting for a hat when it went in, but that came from a corner, so that felt natural. Tenho got the second. Furholm was the deft head added to get the first. Who got the Valencic got the Valencic got the third. So we had sort of a who's who of the players who have been intriguing me. I still don't rate Muniz. I mean, he does a job, obviously. Kuninga's played pretty well. Tenno, I think, got man of the match. So it's been a fun experience. That's our last Inter game, I'm sorry to say. I'm hoping sometime in the future we'll be back and we'll see them again. But yeah, Redmond, I've really liked going to the games. He's had a ball. He got to wave a flag around yesterday, which was good. And we also went with some of his friends from IFK, because IFK had a deal. I think a lot of the clubs, the kids' youth clubs, had a deal where they'd get free tickets in for the game, or cheap tickets. We didn't have to pay. So there's like 3 or 4 of his little teammates were there along, and we hung out with them for a bit. But yeah, we've had a great time. It's a shame that we won't get to see Inter again. However, I will see, hopefully, fingers crossed, he and I will go and see TPS or TPS play TPV from Tampere tomorrow in the same stadium. So it'll be interesting to see how different an experience that is. I do feel, I do have the impression that TPS gets bigger crowds. So it'll be interesting to see how the crowd compares being in the second tier to being in the top. Anyway, other football I've been seeing. On Saturday, we finished off by going to see Abo Club Football. Abo Club Football play in the 5th tier. Yeah, it was, again, another good game. The quality of football wasn't great. It would be about PDL level, upper divisions of junior level Irish football. It was committed. It was interesting because one team was a 2 team. I think it was P Ilrot 2 were the team we were playing. And that felt like a lot of young fellas who were basically giving it socks. They're the up-and-comings. I didn't see too many fellas who looked like they'd already made it. The OCF team looked like a lot of fellas who, just enjoyed their football and were more good enough than not. OCF won 2-1. They went 2 goals up, won the first, won the second. Ilrot got a goal back. And honestly, it looked like it was going to be a case that Ilrot would win it out because they clearly were fitter, they clearly were younger, they clearly were faster. But it's a little bit up there. That is what wins football games. And OCF had that more. The only disappointment about the game was that there were 2 games going on in what I see as IFK Abo's stadium. Basically what they call the upper stadium at Pavo Nurmi. And the earlier game, which Redmond didn't want to go to because he was tired, featured Hot Lips. I am not joking. Hot Lips Turku is a team, and I bitterly regret that I won't get to see them. As for the earlier tournament, so 3 games against 3 different opponents. There was sort of like basically groups of 4. There were Kapo, a local team. Tuve was another local team, and I can't remember the third ones. But it was fun. The IFK team is basically meant to be a team of 6-year-olds. It's probably half 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds, and there is at least one 4-year-old, but it seems to be a lot of 5-year-olds. And they were playing against 7-year-olds, and you could see the difference. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there were two or three of the kids coming in on the Tuve team who were drinking cans of Budweiser coming in. I mean, they're 6. They don't know what's good beer, so you might as well give them the cheap stuff. But they got trounced in the first. The second game, I think they won, which is amazing, really. The third game, I think they lost by a goal. But they gave a good show for themselves in each of them. I mean, obviously, you're seeing pictures here and there. For the second game, Redmond was captain, which was extremely cool. I'm very proud of them. I don't think they meant anything by captain. They were basically swapping the team at halfway through the game. There wasn't a half time. They'd just swap the team around. They'd have an entire different set of subs. Fortunately, as it's 5-a-side, there were 10 boys there, so it worked out. The best little lad there was a guy on our team was a guy whose literal first name is Messi, and then Alex, who's one of Redmond's friends. Arne nearly scored a couple of times. Redmond had a couple of good chances. He did very well, and he should be very proud of himself. Yeah, and Redmond went in goal for the last game because he was so desperate to go in goal. So the next one coming up is on the 19th of the month, which is basically our last full day in Turku, which we will be spending not in Turku because it's outside of the city. I think it's in Pikkio. And yeah, you'll get a report from that with our roundup of the season. I hope you enjoyed the pics of him playing and the other bits and pieces. Feedback always welcome. Now, though you have passed 13 minutes into the future, I remain here at the same time. So, let's have a look at how we've been doing. And the answer to that's easy, is poorly. Yeah. So, you were with me for Mariehamn and with Redmond for TPS, and to be honest, we've had 2 wins in 9 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 wins, 3 draws, 9 games. Not great. Not what you'd be expecting from the team that is finishing second. And listen here, folks. I mean, if we'd beaten TPS, if we'd held Mariehamn to a draw, and if we'd gotten a win against Lahti, which we should have done. So there's 3, 6, 7... Should have beaten Honka. 8, 9. Add 9 points to our total and take 3 off Mariehamn, or 2 off Mariehamn.
Mariehamn were top.
We would be at 52 points. They would be at 62 points.
And
we've really thrown this away. They're champions at this point. Nothing can stop that. We can still finish 4th. With 3 games to go, we are less than 9 points away from the 5th place team. We could finish 5th Coops. At this point, finish 5th to VPS. If we lose today, we will have a very good chance. If we draw today, 4th is the worst we can do. We should be finishing top. We should be finishing 2nd. But we're a point ahead of HJK and a point ahead of Coops. Again, going back to our schedule, which is here. I can never find the thing. We have ROPS, we have SJK, we have VPS. HJK, let me have a look at their schedule, have SJK and Coops left to play. So we have a game in hand on them. I'd like to see that end out a draw. I'd like to see them beaten in Seinäjoki, but we'll see. And as for Coops, their remaining games, they have Mariehamn, they have HJK. So, I mean, again, ideally, if that's a draw and Mariehamn win that, we should be okay. But we need to start winning games, and we need to win here against VPS. Looking at VPS, they are 5th. They're on a pretty mixed run. They've had, oh wow, that's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
They have to play Honka and...
Oh wow, wait a second. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They've got 3 wins in 15 games.
And
that is abysmal.
And they have to play Honka and Rups.
That's right. We have a game in hand on these guys as well. So really, we should finish above both of these teams. Because again, our schedule, we're playing SJK, playing VPS, we're playing RUPS. They're mid-table times. None of them are particularly amazing. SJK is the last game of the season. They're not playing great.
And their last game is HJK and then us.
And let's see what RUPS' schedule's been like. They've been better, but they're not great either. 3 wins out of 6. I mean, I'm not really sure. I don't know who's winning games in this league, because everyone seems to be losing them except Mariehamn. Anyway, that game with... Oh, I should point out that last game against HJK. Do you remember that game, Redmond?
Yeah, we just lost.
We played it yesterday. It was not nearly as good a game as it looks. 1-0, we equalised. 2-1, we equalised. Then 3-1, then 4-1, then an a third goal to make it look better than it was much, much later in the game. Appalling performances. You can't quite see the bottom few. Guevara got a 9.6. Basically, he scored a hat-trick. So he should be getting well. But Vaihalainen got a 6.3. I mean, apart from Guevara and Mikitalo, who got 7.4 for a couple of the assists, I think 6.8, 6.9 is the best we do, and a lot of 6.3s. We really need to improve, and I'm not sure what to do at this point. I'm kind of paralysed by how bad we've been. So looking at the current squad, I brought Newman because I realised why is meant to be a U. Newman has come back in. Guevara, Mikitalo stay in the centre. Shalman, Kuningas and Sheriff. Got Varmanen, which is not a good sign. And Kotanen is in because both Ademi and Mansali are away on international duty. Oman is still injured. Markula is still injured. Monpaz unlucky maybe not to be getting in. Vaihalainen's training great but playing awful. Helmka, not impressed me. Hidretsky, not impressed me. We've got Timu and Kami. Koppanen's going to sit on his arse. 3 players on a yellow, or 4 I suppose actually, Sheriff as well. So they're out if the next game doesn't go well. Can't afford to lose Varmanen. Because we've got I suppose we've got a 16-year-old with no determination who could come in. Except he's injured. Right full backs are a problem. So we're just going to kick on. This next bit we're going to skip over. We'll have a look at the teams and then we'll skip straight to the game. You don't need to see all the bits of me talking and stuff. Team selection. How's VPS meant to line out? Inconsistent. We're all inconsistent.
Oh, like there's that.
So yeah, there's a lot. Oh, they've got a few players missing for international. Oh, Jamal, Morrissey, Gunnar, and David. Where's Gunnar from? It's hardly Turkish. He's away on international duty for Turkey. Maybe under 21s. Trinbagonian. Never heard that used before. That works for me. Anyway, onwards. We'll see you in a minute. Hi there, folks. We're back. We're just getting interviewed in the tunnel. Both come into a poor spell to form. Good opportunity to step up and arrest recent things. It's a great opportunity. Find our focus, turn our form around. Actually, yeah, we have to show that we want this more than they do. Gonna go with that. Here come the teams, Redmond.
Ooh.
They're lining up much as we expected. So, let's hope we get our playing football shoes on for a change. My coaches seem to be very anxious to put us on defensive schedules, so I think I've gone for it this time. By the way, I looked up when our really poor run of form started. It kind of started with Fullerholm's disappearance. We have not replaced him. Clearly, he was a major leader in the dressing room. I wasn't going to say no when he had a chance to move. We're now again over our wage budget, largely thanks to the fact that 2 or 3 players had signed deals where after 10 games or 15 games for the team they get a wage increase. Vaihalainen played muck in the last game and he gets a wage increase. That's so there's that. The 3 games more in the season, then we can really reassess. And nothing is happening. There's been 1 shot on target from them, and here comes a second shot on target, which is almost... Oh, it wasn't even. That was... They can do that all day. We need more than a draw. We need to try to win the game. And that is something. The staff around me said, go and be cautious. Short passing game, yeah, that sounds good. But really and truly, it's like it's very end of season. Neither team feels like they have to play for anything. So we've had 2 shots now. Oh, throw in. Shalman pass it to the back of somebody's legs. Sheriff nearly had a chance. Guevara, can he shoot? Oh, and it's a save. That's the best bit of play for a while.
And into corner.
Guevara and Mikitalo have kept this season going. Once again, just look at how poor we were for the last 10 games. Okay, wide. Yes, and on. Katanen, good to see him back. He's not quite fit. Oh, I thought that might fall for Shalman, but not to be on this occasion. We're not playing great. Kuningas is not playing well. Sheriff is not playing well. Not playing badly otherwise. Their centre half is playing okay, but their forwards aren't great either. Here we go, corner. Not a good corner. Guevara, Katanen. It's hardly going to shoot. Oh, no. He hit the butt of the post. I thought he was offside, to be honest. But Guevara's probably taken more shots in the last 3 games. Guevara and Mikitalo, I'd say, have taken more shots in the last 3 games than all the other players put together. Kuninga's down to 6-4 still. This is not good. 7 shots. Oh, here we go, another corner.
I like
Must have been batted away. Oh, close. Nyman that time, I think. What were you going to say?
You're captain.
Moisander is captain, I think. So we've hardly conceded any free kicks in the promising area, and their defenders won back more possession than anyone else. Jesper Engstrom loses possession a lot. That's good to know. We've struggled for possession in their half. Poor conversion. Okay, you get some water. Whoops. Poor conversion of shots in the final third. SJK and IFK level. TPS beating Honka. They're really down in trouble, TPS. Although this should be enough to save them. 3 games, 9 points. Make it very hard for Lahti if they keep up this win against Honka. I mean, they should be safe. Kemi are gone. There's no way they'll catch anybody. Updates, match stats, where are we at? Oof. Yeah, we're better than them. But we're not doing anything better than them. Close the door. Ratings. Engstrom is still playing an okay game. Their strike force is muck. There's nothing majorly happening here. Do you want to sit on me again? Ugh. So let's try analysis. Summary. Yeah. I wonder why it's all gone to the dogs for so many teams. Hoskin's been dominant. Short passes connecting well. Got to light a fire under Sheriff's rear end, I think. Actually, Sheriff not so much. Kuningas, definitely. Play for set pieces. Whipped crosses, because I don't think Sheriff's all that tall. Yeah, 182. He's not taller enough than me. Extremely wide, extremely high. In transition. And out of possessions. Yeah, let's get rid of stay on feet. We need the win here. And we can push up a little bit. Going to pull back a little bit as well. Okay, let's talk to the players. We do deserve to win the match. And Moisander and Sheriff are the only ones really who went. Oh yeah, right, Kuningas. I'm extremely disappointed. Wait. Yeah, Kuningas, yeah, is motivated. Good. For a second I thought I'd said that to Sheriff. Careful with that, fingers. Weren't that bad, you can improve. Say the same, I think, to midfield. Yeah. So Muntila is the only one who's not really worked up. Hand over to the assistant. Ready to walk through walls.
Yeah.
Well, walk through the opposition and score goals. That would be my advocation to you. Newman made an awful lot of work to try and kick that ball, didn't he? Ah, lads. Come on. Yeah, Kuningas in real life played really well last night. As did Furam. As did they all, I think.
They're very fast. And when we're watching the game, they're very fast.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, straight into the wall.
Come on, get the ball. Big cheer because he won back the ball he lost. That's interesting. Either that or the waves are crashing down. Kuningas needs to improve, or he's getting kicked off. Shalman as well is muck. Oh God, look at the pair of them there. Like a dirty big ugly spot. Middle of the forehead. You're about to meet a girl. Ugh, At least Katanen and Varmanen are playing well. Varmanen was not good in the last game. Come on now. Over it this time. Oh,
it just curved too much.
Yeah, at least he got it past the wall. Okay, Kuningas. Oh, God, and Shalman. Terrible, terrible play. Mikitalo's waywardness with his free kicks is clearly having an effect. Right, tactical tough. I mean, I can't keep them both on. They're both junk. So how about we do something really... Oh, no. Kuningas is one of the problems. Who do I have that I can bring on? How about bring on Onduku here? Count Onduku. He'll go into this technique. I'll leave Shalman on for a little bit more. Yeah, he's just about not awful. 6.2 for Kuningas. He'll be dropped for the next game, because that's really unacceptable stuff. Let's open this up. So we'll put up Shalman and Sheriff. I'm just going to put him back on attacking target man. Dooku, Newman needs to be anchor. They're too good, too many things. Let's see. Take first on the left. And I think we need to hit the ball a longer distance. Play in for set pieces, take away the defense. Keep it reasonably wide. And we'll see what happens. Give team talk. Faith in me. Go on, Dooku. Make me see exactly why I got you, apart from that one goal in your first game of the season before you got injured.
Switching off for us.
Yep. I think VPS are looking forward to the draw. They're not doing anything. Let's go very attacking.
Switching off for them.
Let's hit that tactically up. Yeah, there's nothing. It's such a non-game. And so it's a full back. They switched out a full back. Right footed anyway. So let's just put him on his left. Oh, I see what they did. Let's put in a bit of meat into the game. Go hard tackling in the middle. Okay, confirm changes. 71. Oh, actually, we should probably sub. Gonna take off Shaman and bring on Vaihalainen. I might take off Nyman and bring on. I mean, Nyman's been steadying, but I don't think he's done enough, to be honest. Yeah, I'll play him as a poacher. And we'll have him as a supporting attacker. And I think we were going to swap Nyman with Radetzky. Going mad, moving forward. And what else will we do? Oh no, we need to go to players. Just say target man, target man, target man. Let's see. Give team talks. Can't make a difference, lads. Both of them are happy. Play. We have 20 minutes to try and score. That's the weird thing. We can only score when the other team is scoring. You know, we can be beaten 1-0 or 4-3, but we couldn't be beaten like 2-0 or 3-1. Come on, Muntila. Need to get the win. Just for, you know, my ego, if nothing else. Oh. Oh, yes! Oh, thank God. Sheriff hadn't scored in 10. This would have been 10 games without him scoring, I think. Oh, that's great. Oh, that was so badly needed. Now, whoops. Concentrate. Thanks. Taro gets it all the way. Montila gets all the way across to Barman. That's Sheriff got it. It's kind of a touching assist from Vitalainen. Thanks, oh my God. Now concentrate. Can we get 2?
Really early.
Oh, closer than we expected. Retzi. Need to get back. Yeah, that's gone to nowhere. Good. Honestly, I'd take 1-0. It has been such a dreadful run. 1-0 against VPS. At least VPS are a decent side. So we have Sheriff, Katanen, Varmanen playing well. Varmanen, good. The last game, our fullbacks were junk. Okay, Guevara, good. No, that was not good. That was bad. That was very bad. That was a very misplaced kick of the ball. Good man, Guevara again. And he puts it into Sheriff. Oh, it's got to be offside. Oh! That is a goal! That should definitely have been considered offside, I thought. But maybe it was Vitalainen.
He's never going to get a hat-trick!
Be a very late hat-trick in the game, but I'd take it. You know, 2 hat-tricks in a row. I suppose that you couldn't complain about that instantly. Guevara, Vitalainen, I really wanted to hit it. Yeah, he's onside, and the other fella must be Mikitalo, who doesn't interfere, which is good. I think Sheriff hit with both feet. First with the left and then with the right. Don't know, I'm just delighted. Yeah, thank you. Very well spotted. And after this run of play, we'll go and deal with the sub. Please don't make this as nervy as it... they're going to make it nervy. They're going to... Oh, that was poor. Probably the best choice there from Hoskonen, not to go in too hard. Is that Hoskonen? Yeah, it is. It's not out of position. Good. That's okay. Calm it down. We're going to tactically assess their tactical change. So who's that? They brought on a midfielder. Yeah, they've jumped a few things around alright. And what does this midfielder do? Plays with the right foot. So let's... Oh, well, we'll go with that actually. We'll leave it at that. Engstrom. Let's tackle him hard as well. Seeing as he's playing so poorly. That was not the right move to make, to bring on him for that guy. Because, you know, take off your guy who's playing poorly. I don't like that we came back into the middle of a scary highlight. Come on, Varmanen. You might have won your place for the last games of the year. Because I think the other 2 boys might be out. No assists given for this performance.
No, they're saying something.
Yeah, I said concentrate a few minutes ago. And they've only heard it now. Because there hasn't been a break in play. Glancing header on. Now they're going into attack. This is the thing I always maintain. If you sit in defence for the whole game, and then you go a goal or two down late, it's nearly impossible to get back into it. Katanen and Varmanen have really been playing the match of their careers here. Katanen's doing great, and Varmanen too. Varmanen, he hasn't had two contiguous starts. And lob it up. Right. Let's see if we can get ahead. Corner. I'll take a corner. That'll be the last kick of the game. Hopefully there'll be a header. No, not even that. Yes. Result. Oh, thank God it's been so long. We didn't have that much more possession, but we had so many more attempts on goal. And yeah, Kuningas, not great, but not as bad as Engstrom. Predicted a draw before the match. Honestly surprised that we've been able to win this one. Well, yes, I know we've been crap for a while, but hey. So TPS beat Honka. Mariehamn beat SJK in the end. So that's SJK out of the European running, realistically. And maybe. They've got 6 points, they can't get there.
The bottom team had lost
Kemi lost to Ilves, yeah.
By 2-0.
That's true. So
we got 2-0.
Looking, are you going to run away?
Yeah.
Okay, take your chocolate with you.
No.
Close the door as you go. So looking at the league now, Coups, they've got 3 games. That'd be 50. That'd be 60 points. They win all 3 games. You know, we've got 2. I'm confident we can get 4 points, which should have us ahead on goal difference. HJK, with 4 points on them with 2 games left. We need 1 more win. That's HJK out of our way. For second, VPS, theoretically, if they win their last 2 games, they have a chance if Coups lose all 4 remaining games. It's hard to see that happening. Stats wise, blocked shots would work. 2 clear cuts, 3 half chances, 7 long shots. Yeah, we owned that game. Ran 8 kilometres more than them. And more importantly, nearly a full point better on a rating than them. Player ratings there. Formations. You see, this is the thing. If you don't change how you play, you can't expect to, get there. At some point, especially when you're 2 goals down, you need to take risks. You need to try something different. Because clearly, how they were set up wasn't changing much. A lot of kilometres run there by different players. Teams, players, feedback. Yeah, Kotanen. Mkhitaryan not hitting his shots on target. Yeah, you could say that. He was knocking all those free kicks wide. Now, back to the team talk at the end of the day. At the end of the day, Brian. Onduku played okay in the few minutes he was on. Vihalainen as well. We might start like that in the next game. Listen to me, all ballsy now. Oh yeah. Might go all out attacking against the opposition next time. Kuningas. Dude. You're ruining your legacy. Let them know we appreciate their efforts. I think passion is very nice victory, well done. I'm not going to praise their way they played. They weren't great playing wise. Not until we were a goal up. When did we go a goal up? It's late enough on anyway. Yeah. Hand over to the assistant. All fired up. The atmosphere is growing like a log fire that's burning. So there we go. 76 and 84 minutes. Left it late. But we did what we needed to do. Stats wise, we're still second on goals. Even if we'd drawn 0-0, we'd still be second on goals. So far behind. Well, what? 7 goals behind Mariham. I mean, Mariham wrapped it up when we lost it to HJK. So let's see. Least conceded. Coops. Yeah, we're about halfway down. We have conceded so much. We actually had to score 2 against VPS to make sure that we were no longer in the bottom half of the conceding league. Or the top half, depending on which you consider as worse. Us and IFK have had the most red cards. That's not a good sign. Only 4 goals from indirect free kicks, I suppose, yeah. Not gotten so many penalties. Looking at the players, there you can see goal-wise, Sheriff moves into the top 7. We're not at the race for those. We're at the races for most distance covered, most assists. Where is the highest ranking? Let's see what's the top average rating. Yeah, that goalkeeper. I told you he was good. Mikitalo is our best player in terms of an average, but you know, he's got nothing compared to this guy. There was a chance and it just slipped away. It's a shame, but c'est la vie, c'est la guerre, as they say. Next round of fixtures, well, Lati have to play Coops. Come on, Lati, get a point. HJK have to go away to SJK. Come on, SJK. Get a point. We have to go away to Rups. Mariham should be able to beat Coops. And finally, home to SJK. Hopefully not needing to get a win or a point. HJK, home to Coops. So that's been it, folks. Excuse me. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm relieved at long last. Actually, let's look at this. At long bloody last, we get a win. 3 games without a win. So many games without 2 consecutive wins. Can we get 2 consecutive wins to Can we get 3 wins to round off the season? I think our record for most wins in a season is 17. And at this point, we must be on 16, is it? We've come so close to breaking other records. Yeah, we're on 16. 2 wins, we break the record. We've equalled the record for most games unbeaten. We've equalled the record for most games won in a row. Let's do better than equal the record for most wins. Let's beat the record. Thanks a million for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see yous next week. Take it easy. Bye.